first you born, then you live and die. So if tomorrow never comes, it comes at no surprise. Looking death into his eyes, yeah, I witness guys start to recognize, analyze their own demise. Some people wasting time, walking around hypnotized, blinded by success, impressed but can't identify what's real was fake because the money just intensify. Jealousy plus the hate that equals genocide. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. It's been a minute, long time. Welcome back to another episode of Life on Diagonal. I am your host, EB. I got some help with me today. I got my son. He's running the camera, helped me hook up the microphone. So he's like my production assistant, or in charge of production. He's sitting there watching me behind the camera. It's been a long time since I did an episode, but I'm back dealing with a few things, life. I had an old computer that was kind of hindering me doing this, so got me a new computer. Oops, hit the mic. Got me a new computer, got me a new setup. So I'm gonna be using my laptop because I am not that savvy when it comes to being a YouTuber, podcaster, and remembering things. So I will be using my laptop for the points that I would like to make, so that way I won't forget anything. As always, I am also the co-host of Thought Ops, and I am also the owner of Healing Hyenas. You like my Acting Forever T-shirt? I design my own T-shirts, run my business. My son helped me with that as well. So, today's topic, I'm gonna be doing this in three parts. So the topic of today's show is discernment, demons, and difficulties. And I know it sounds um, kind of crazy, but I always want to put this out there. Whenever I talk about something, I'm talking using my opinions, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect and I am without fault. I have my faults, I have my issues, and I am always trying to work on myself and make myself a better person, a better individual, to be a better product of my environment, if that sounds right. So the first part I want to get into is I want to talk about discernment. And so the definition of discernment is the ability to perceive truth beneath the surface, to recognize intentions, patterns, and energy beyond what is spoken or shown. So I am talking about discernment when it comes to dealing with people. Um, it's crazy because when I was younger, my father used to always tell me I had ministry in me. I never knew what that meant. Grew up in the church. My father, he's still in the church. I'm not in the church right now. I do believe in God. I am pretty religious, but right now church is not my thing, and I'm not knocking anybody who goes to church. And that church is your thing, more power to you. I'm always a free believer of everybody should live their life how they choose to live, do what they want to do, and I don't judge people for however they choose to live their life. But with this discernment, I think I picked up on it. Um, you know, After my mom passed away, uh, after she passed away, my senses for certain things and people kind of heightened. And I always used to hear people talk about energy, energies when it comes to people, energy, this, energy, that. And I never really paid attention, but when she passed away, I started paying attention to energy, started paying attention to people's energy, how they react around me, how they treated me. And when it came to energy, I'm really a good um, judge of people's character, how people, um, their intentions, and I could, for the most part, pretty much pick up on if a person is a good person or if they are somebody that I want to stay away from. I want to mesh. That I don't mesh with. And there are people out there with this gift of discernment. I think everybody, in my opinion, have. Well, yeah, I think everybody have discernment, but there are people where that have this special gift of discernment, and sometimes it's a gift, sometimes it's a curse.
and I would talk about why it's a curse when I talk about the difficulties. Um, so it's the demon part. There are people that are we are all dealing with demons. We are all dealing with things that affect us. Some of us are still living through our trauma, don't want to get help, especially like people in my community, black men. We um, tend to kind of shy away from, mental health. It's getting a little bit better through these past years, but um, a lot of a lot of times we feel like we don't need help or need to talk to anyone. And so I feel, with my discernment, I'm a pretty good judge of character and I could pick out. And I feel like my discernment, kind of rile up people, um, rile up their demons that to the point where they feel that they know I know that, what their intentions are, especially if their intentions aren't good. Um, if their intentions are trying to harm someone, trying to harm me, um, even trying to cause disruption in your everyday life. So uh, discernment, it could be developed through awareness, your environment. Um, you dealt with some type of pain. I think that it really got to me, when my mom passed away. It just really kind of woke me up. Even us making mistakes, or looking back and ignoring your intuition in the past. A lot of times I reflect on things that I did um, in my past, and I'm like, man, if I knew this wasn't the right thing to do, but I still did it anyway. And just probably me just maturing and understanding that this discernment. I think another thing that helps me with my discernment is I'm very observant. I pay attention to a lot. I pay attention to people where I'm at places. I could tell you who came in, who left, what this person had on. I'm very observant. I pay attention to actions. I pay attention to words. I pay. I'm real good remembering what was said to me, what was done to me, and so I think this discernment goes along with my observation, and I, it, like I said, it just kind of finally struck me when my mom passed away. So, with that being said, I want to talk and go into how, you know, it affects someone else's, someone you may come across, and it riles up their demons. So I'm gonna get back with that. So, with discernment and demons, so a lot of times demons isn't just always spiritual. Uh, these demons can show up as people's ego, control, manipulation, and sometimes insecurity. And with my gift of discernment, it it exposes what people try to hide, especially when it's something negative or they're trying to get over on somebody. Um, you know, me being an introvert and not trying to be Mr. Popular, I feel like when you set up boundaries, it feels like some type of um, rejection to people that are trying to be popular, trying to get to know you. You trying to be nosy, trying to be in your business. Um, it comes in the form of passive aggression, being difficult to people, maybe being distant, cold, mean. I get told I'm mean a lot. I don't understand why, or maybe it's just because I got a mean look. Like I said, I'm an introvert, and I really don't try to talk. I don't want to make it seem like I just dismiss people because that's not what I do. I feel like the reason why I'm such an introvert and why I don't, I have to warm up to people. I have to get to know people because I just feel like within myself, I just feel like people don't want to be bothered. So, because a lot of times I don't want to be bothered. So I don't want to add on into anybody's, stressors in life because we're all dealing with something. And I just feel like, mind my business, go about my business. There's always, I don't say always, but I see this quote a lot on social media. It always says, I keep saying always. I see this quote on social media that says, drink your water and mind your business. But you could drink your water and mind your business, and people will still mess with you. You could try to, stay away from situations and try to avoid situations and be an upstanding citizen, but people will still find a way to to uh to mess with you. And with these demons that these people are dealing with, I think with me having this discernment, um, they know that I can see what's going on. I feel like this is like and all like I said, all this is opinion based. So this is just my opinion, just me talking or rambling, however you take it. But I think when it comes to like these demons people dealing with, they don't really fear people that are loud or talk a lot or try to to know everybody because I feel like with that's a distraction. I think these demons pick up on people that are very observant, that could see through people um, that know that they are up to no good, that know they are trying to manipulate people, and it's it's frustrating. I'm gonna talk about the frustrating part and the difficulties part. So it's just the some people become combative. That goes back to them being passive aggressive. Like I'll be places and um, there's people that I know that they may know, and I talk to them. I'm like, I don't think this person is really a good person because I feel their energy. So it's just mean mugging and standoffish situations, which I try not to get into, and that's something I am working. That's probably maybe one of my demons that I am trying to work on within myself is not letting people control my emotions. I have too much to lose. I have a lot of things to lose. Like I said, I'm a father. My first priority is, taking care of my son, and I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm unable to do that. So maybe that's one of my demons that I'm trying to work on, and I will talk about that in the difficult part because the reason why I say it's difficult is difficult trying to explain this to people that are around me or don't understand this discernment, and at times it just drives me crazy because yeah, it's a gift, but it could always but it's a gift, but it's a curse as well at times because people just don't understand. So I feel like people like me, if you put up boundaries and just watch people and just be observant on what they are trying to do. I'm not a real trusting person. I don't trust people off the top. I try to take people for the words, but I'm more action based. I have to see actions. Words really don't mean too much. Anybody can say anything. I can say, "Look, I'm a millionaire," but I mean that don't mean I'm a millionaire. You would have to see some action from me. You would have to see something um, come to fruition to in order for you to know that I'm a millionaire. So, these demons, like I said, it's not always spiritual. It comes in, different forms. So now I am about to get into the difficult part and why discernment and dealing with these demons are difficult. So now we are going to talk about the part that is the hardest, the difficult part of discernment. So when you're an introvert like me, or you're dealing with this gift or curse of discernment. Discernment really narrows your circle because you're not as trusting of others as most people are. So you have a narrow circle, you have a core group of people that you deal with, and it's difficult because even though you have this core group of people, if they don't have this understanding or gift of discernment, it's hard to explain this to them. And that is the problem that I run into because I try to explain certain situations to people with things that I deal with. Um, just like most recently dealing with um, individuals, and it gets frustrating because you try to explain it to them and they don't understand it, especially if they are not as observant as you are. And there's a situation that I've dealt with. I'm cool with a person and they're cool with another person that I don't see eye to eye with. Probably would never see eye to eye with this person. Me and this person had a confrontation, and not only just involves somebody I'm cool with, but it involves somebody else, involves a couple people. And I were trying to tell them about this person. And, I just felt like they were just making excuses for this person because, they're cool with this person. They knew this person before me. Um, but I could see that this person wasn't no good. There's certain things that I heard this person say out their mouth to one of the people that I'm cool with that I would never say to my friend, and that just throws up a red flag with me. Um, like I said before, the passive aggressive thing, the mean mugging, the walking past, and you know grandstanding and trying to act tough. And I'm not trying to say I'm a big street dude, but I had grew up in the inner city, um, grew up in a environment, and when you have this discernment and when you grow up in that type of environment, you could tell the difference between people who are really tough and people who act tough. And I could tell that this person is just acting; they're not really tough, and they proved me right when I had this confrontation with them. They backpedal from whatever. So I just left it at that, because I'm one of the type of people. I have no problem with conflict resolution. I have no problem with conflict or talking anything out. I prefer that instead of talking behind people's back. I'd rather talk to you man to man, face to face. And it's crazy. I should have said this in the beginning or during when I was talking about this situation that I'm talking about. Um, it's mostly with men, which is weird. Um, especially men that look like me. Um, it's a weird scenario. There's a lot of men out here that want to be popular, want to be friends with everybody for whatever reason. I don't know. And I realize in life, everybody's not going to like you. You're not going to like everybody, but we do need to learn how to coexist as human beings and show some type of respect. One thing I will say is I'm very respectful, and on that same token, I demand my respect um, as well. But it's difficult trying to explain, this gift because, or tell them about discernment because they're not as connected to things that you are, and they're not observant as you are, and it frustrates me because people think like, oh, you're just overreacting or you're just tripping, and 99% of the time I'm right. I hate to be like that, but I'm I'm right. And so sometimes the cost of these situations is, isolating yourself, not being around big groups, not being around people because um, you don't want to seem like you're complaining or just making things up, or you're just tripping off of everybody, because there are a lot of people out there that are that grew up off of survival and not love, and they would use you, and that's their whole thing, is to use you, get what they could get from you, throw you away, go to the next person. It's not about, you can know them for years. It's not about them looking out for you, looking trying to help you. It's all about what you could do for them and what they could get out of you, and what you could purchase from them, what you could buy from them. And so this is that dealing with, especially like when you're dealing with this and you have no problem with conflict, because I deal with people that they don't like conflict. So instead of them dealing with the problem head on or right away, they'll let things slide and slide and slide and slide, and that frustrates me as well, because I'm just looking at people like, we're adults. Why can't we have these conversations? Like, why is it so hard to talk to these people and tell them what they are doing wrong? Even if they don't want to mess with you no more after that, that's fine. But at least you got it off your chest. What's the reason to keep dealing with it and worrying about it and complaining about it if if you can't really, if you're not really going to do anything about it? Sometimes I just don't want to hear it, because I'm just like, well, you have to talk to this person and you know confront this person. And dealing with this, you and confronting it, you have fewer regrets, because you say what you have to say, you get it off your chest, you build stronger boundaries for yourself, and it's all about personal alignment over other people's approval. Dang, I keep hitting the mic. My bad if you hear that. But it's just, I'd rather be aligned with myself and comfortable with myself, and know that I'm doing what's best for myself, than worrying about what people think of me and people's approval. That's one thing I can say that's strong about me, is I really don't care what people think about me. I don't. It doesn't bother me. Um, I grew up in an era where we talked about each other, and it's just, going through therapy helped me. And it's you learn. And I tell my son this all the time too, and he's sitting here listening, he's sitting here watching, that people are always going to talk about you no matter what you do. You can do something good, you could do something bad. People are going to find a way to talk about you. And people will talk about you and mess with you just to get a reaction out of you. And if they get the reaction that they want, they will continue to do it and do it and do it. So that is what I'm working on, through this frustration of talking and dealing and talking to people. I am working on that within myself, on not letting people control me, not letting people control my emotions, and understanding that this is something I have to live with. Another thing about the frustration and the difficulties is, I want to throw this in, I forgot about this, is the difficulties and frustrations about this is, I tell people this about me having this discernment, but then it's like I have to keep explaining to them. And it's like, when you just understand, like, why do I have to keep explaining this to you? This is how I am. I have this discernment. I'm a good judge of character. I rarely fail you, so why are you still questioning me? So I have that problem and that frustration too. But I guess sometimes you got to let people, um, you know, figure it out for themselves. And I'm always going to be me. I'm always going to speak on situations. I'm always going to talk about things that make me uncomfortable. If people like me or not like it or not, I'm just going to keep doing it. It's just something I just can't just let people run over me or think that they can run over me. But there are times where I have to learn just to sit back and be quiet and not say anything and just remove myself. So with this, with discernment, demons, and difficulty, um, my closing thoughts are: discernment reveals what people's true intentions are. Um, the demons that these people have will react to that discernment. They will recognize that you have that discernment. And the difficulty is the price of walking in clarity, having a clear mind, clear conscience, and not having other people understand. So, just have a question. Have you ever been called difficult simply because you have discernment, or you see things clearly, or you try to talk to people and they don't understand where it's coming from? So, if you do, just let me know. Leave it in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. I'd like to thank you for sitting through this, hearing me talk, ramble. I want my YouTube page to be a place of learning and talking to one another, not talking about one another. So if there's anything that I miss or you feel like I could benefit from it, please let me know.
Think about it. First you born, then you live and die. So if tomorrow never comes, it comes at no surprise. Looking death into his eyes, yeah, I witness guys start to recognize, analyze their own demise. Some people wasting time, walking around hypnotized, blinded by success, impressed with